This here is part of the exercises we are doing under conditional probability. If this is your first video, or if this is your first time coming across this channel, my name is Daniel, and in this video I am doing a series of questions under conditional probability. I have done series of introduction and some exercises in the playlist conditional probability on the channel. But before we can tackle this, it is very important that you look at the introduction, because every question here I'm going to apply a formula I spoke about or we discussed in the various introductions. Alright, so the question says that the probability that a regular scheduled flight depart on time is P of D, given as 0.83. Continued by saying the probability that it arrives on time is P of A, given as 0.82. And the probability that it departs and arrive on time is P of D intersection A, given as 0.78. Then the question said, find the probability that a plane 1 arrives on time, given that it departed on time. B, depart on time, given that it arrived on time. C, arrives on time, given that it did not depart on time. And D, departed late, given that it arrives on time. Then finally it says arrives late, given that it departed late. Okay, so I'm going to use shortcut methods to solve all this, and I will challenge you to use the other methods or the other formulas we explained during the introductions to also arrive at the same answer. That will be done by you. So I will take you through this, but I will use the shortcut formulas. So let's see what we have. So the first thing we will do is to write down our data. He gave us the probability of D. So we have P of D gave us 0.83. Then he gave us the probability of A, which is equal to 0.82. Then he said that the probability of what? D intersection A gave us 0.78. Know that this is the same as probability of A intersection D. Okay, the events happening together are the same whether you change the variables or not. All right, so now let's take the first question. So let's find A. Now it said that find the probability that a plane arrives on time, given that it departed on time. That is very simple. Okay, so arrives on time. In conditional probability, we are looking for P that it arrives on time, because arrives on time was P of A, given that it departs on what? Time. So probability of A giving what? D. And that is going to give us what? We write the probability of the event A intersection D, all divided by the probability of D, the event we are conditioning on, the one that has already happened. It departed on time. It happened earlier. So we take P of what? D. When we substitute this, we have P of A given D. So this is giving us P intersection D gave us what? 0.78. So 0.78 out of probability of D is 0.83. When we divide this, we have 78 over 83, which is approximately 0.9398. Very simple. Then we move on to the next question. He said that it departs on time, so P of D, then given that it has arrived on time. So that is given that we have what? A. This is giving us the probability of D intersection A all over the event that happened earlier. It arrived on time, so P of A. When we divide this, we have P of D given A is giving us, this is the same as 0.78. So we have 0.78 out of probability of A is 0.82. And when we divide this, we have 39 over 41, which is approximately 0.951. So that is the probability that it departs on time and arrives on time. Let's go to the third one. It says arrives on time given that it did not depart on time. Now we are moving to complement. Okay. Now listen, the probability that the flight departed on time is P of D. If it did not depart on time, he is talking about the complement of this. So that will be what? D complement or DC, whatever way you want to put it. Now, note that the probability that the flight departed on time plus the probability that it did not depart on time should give us 1. So if I want D complement, then I can have P of D1 is going to give me 1 minus the probability of what? D. I hope you understand. So that is how we can find the probability that it did not depart on time. So let D1 represent the fact that it did not what? Depart on time. So from what we just learned, let us write the conditional rule for or formula for the question C. So he said that arrives on time given that it did not depart on time. So this is giving us P of A given that it did not depart on time. And that is going to give us the formula probability of A intersection D complement divided by the probability of D complement. We all understand this. So because we don't know the probability of A intersection D complement, we have to find it. So because we can't get a shortcut formula for this, we need to break down A intersection D complement. To do that, we will find it in the probability of A, because the probability of A will be partitioned into two groups. It will contain A intersection D and A intersection D complement. So we will say from probability of A, this is equal to probability of A intersection D plus the probability of A intersection D complement. This is the general formula. Now we can make this one the subject. When we make it the subject, we are going to get P of A intersection D complement. It's going to give us the probability of A minus the probability of A intersection D. Do you understand? Now we have the probability of A and A intersection D, so we can solve for this. So this is giving us, what is the probability of A? We had 0.82. So 0.82 minus the probability of A intersection D is the same as D intersection A, which is 0.78. 0.78. So now when you subtract this, you are getting 0.04. Now we are not done. We also need the probability of D complement, which I already explained. So we will say that but probability of D complement is giving us 1 minus the probability of D. So this is giving us 1 minus, what is probability of D? 0.83. We have 0.813. When we subtract this, the result is 0.17. Now we can substitute these two results into the formula to solve for this. So therefore, the probability that the plane arrives on time, given that it did not depart on time, is giving us this over this, which is 0.04, 0.04 divided by 0.17. When we solve this, we are going to get 0.235, and that is the solution for this one. If you have any other way you can solve this, which is possible, drop it on the page. Okay, we can use other ways to get the same answer. All right, so now let's move on to the D. It says that find the probability that it departed late given that it arrives on time. So we are looking for P that it departed late, you see, given that it arrives on time. So probability of D complement given what? A. And there is a shortcut formula for this if you followed me in the introductions we have done. And this is equal to 1 minus the probability that D given A. Okay, the probability that it departed early given that it arrived early. We already know the solution for this, which is giving us what? This. We got 0.951. So I can just subtract this from 1 to solve for this. Okay, so this is giving us 1 minus 0.951. So P of D complement giving A is giving us 0.049. Okay, now let's move on to the last question. It said it arrives late given that it departed late. Now we are talking about two complement together, A complement and D complement. If I want to find for E, then that one also has a formula. Listen, it said arrives late. So P of A complement means it arrives late. A means it arrived early. Given that it departed what? Late. So the shortcut for this is also going to give us 1 minus the probability that it arrives early given that it departed late. So this is going to be P of A given D complement. These are the shortcut ways. So we already know this solution. So this is giving us 1 minus. What is the probability of PA given D complement? We did it somewhere here. And we had 0.235. So 0.235. So probability that the flight arrives late given that it departed late is giving us 0.765, and that is the solution for all the 4 questions. Now I have taken my time to explain all the formulas for you in the introductions. The assignment I want to give you is that go and use another way to solve for this and give me this answer. I don't want you to use this formula. Go over the formulas we have done in introduction part 4. Introduction part 4, there are other ways that we can solve for this. Use it and you will get the same answer. If you are able to get the same answer, drop it in the comment box. In the same way, solve for this, not using the shortcut formula. Look for the introduction, I think part 2 or part 3. It will help you to do this. Using this complement rule, in that example, I was using A and B to represent the two what? The two events. This one, the question is using D and A to represent the two events. Okay, when you finish, find the solution for this one too using another method. You can drop all these in the comment section. If you're able to do that, it means you really understood this topic from what we have done so far. So my name is Daniel. This will be all for this exercise, and I will see you in the next one.